Hi, how are you? So, I'm always on the hunt for more space games. I can never have enough of them. And I've had this one on my wishlist for a while, and it finally got released, and I went ahead and bought it. It's not good, to say the least. So, from the store page, it says that Freelancers Rogue Skies is an open-world single-player space combat roguelite where every pilot is expendable and each death births a new story. We are flying the ARC-700 Starfighter, and it says that we'll be diving into fast-paced dogfights across a handcrafted galaxy racked by war between the UEG and fringe colonies. It goes on to say that we will have high-octane third-person combat, permadeath with purpose, fully open-world galaxy, and emergent stories run by you. So on the surface, it seems rather interesting, which is why it piqued my interest. It definitely wasn't just because of the fact that it's a space game that had Freelancer in the title that has nothing to do with it at all whatsoever. Don't know what you're talking about. However, the point that really got me was the fully open world galaxy and the fact that it says you can fly freely between space systems, convoy battles, derelict hulls, and surprise ambushes. Mainly that part of being able to freely fly between space systems. There's one solar system in the game. So the first thing I do after launching the game is I can't seem to find the key bindings anywhere. We'll get to that more in a bit. The main menu music is also kinda depressing. So we get into the game, and right off the bat, there's horrible lag. I changed the upscaler from TSR, which is what it's on by default, to simple screen percentage. This helped a bit, but didn't fully fix it. I turned the overall graphic settings from ultra down to high, turned anti-aliasing down as well, still lagging. So I turned everything down to medium, still lagging, switched the upscaler to DLSS, and tuned it to performance. Now the game looks terrible, but it plays a little more smoothly. I messed around with the controls for a while, and there was some weird graphical crap happening in the distance. I then saw a button prompt on the screen telling me to press the spacebar, so without even thinking, I did, and I got launched into a station. I tried fighting what I assume to be the enemies, since they're red, and I tried going through buttons figuring out how to lock onto them. Turns out you don't have to lock onto them whatsoever, but I had Freelancer on the brain, so I was trying to figure out how to do that. I pressed R, because that's what it would be to lock onto the closest enemy in Freelancer, and the entire game reset. Upon starting this new game, I noticed that I had a notification at the top of the screen telling me that I had started a contract. What is this contract for, you might ask? Well, who knows? I couldn't figure out how to check it. I also accidentally pressed R again, so the whole game reset again. I somehow missed the fact that the key bindings are listed at the bottom of the screen, which is kind of weird, admittedly, but for some reason I just didn't notice that they were there, and I started going through all of the keys, testing them one by one. In doing this, I somehow did something, I don't know what, that prevented me from being able to fire or use the throttle whatsoever. I restarted again. Pressing the spacebar to go faster, I noticed that this uses up fuel, which just magically comes back on its own. I ended up launching myself straight through a planet. Apparently, you just don't have collision when you're using this mode. You literally just fly straight through things. After launching myself through that one planet, I then bounced off of another one. Apparently atmospheric damage isn't the thing. Apparently you can't land on the planets, you can't do anything with them other than just bounce off of them. I found a few more enemies, and I killed a few of them, but then I kept bouncing off of something that I wasn't sure what it was, and then I died. I think it's the enemy weapons that are doing that, but the fact that it makes your ship react in that sort of way is really strange. Also, after you die, the game just sits there and waits for you to press R. So I restarted again. I forgot to mention that shift is just your regular thrusters, which also uses fuel, but not very much. It was around this point that I started to get pretty bored with the game and kind of frustrated that I just blew $10 on it. So I flew into the sun, because why not? To my surprise, I actually blew up, and I got an achievement for it. I restarted. Again. This time I decided to turn around from the spawn point, and I saw a couple of cool looking planets, so I flew over to them. I bounced off of one of them, and then I noticed that there was a space station nestled in between them. So flying over to it, I started messing around with the buttons on the keyboard, trying to figure out how to dock with it. There's some NPCs just fleeing? I wrote fleeing. There's some NPCs flying circles around the station for some reason. Apparently that's what people do in this galaxy, they just fly in circles, never completing any task. One of the ships at one point got an orange reticle on it, so I shot at them, but nothing happened. I found a few objects next to the space station with pink reticles on them, and it took me forever to figure out how to pick them up. Turns out I had to press F, and that's entirely on me, because the game is literally telling me at the bottom of the screen to press F in order to interact with things. After learning this newfound knowledge, I decided to turn my attention back to the space station and press F while looking at it. It did nothing. Still can't dock. I'm assuming I just can't dock with space stations at all, but now I have cargo and no idea how to sell it. I messed around at the space station a little bit more before just getting completely bored with it, and I went and skimmed the planet's surface next to it, then flew off towards another distant planet. I got an achievement for flying to a planet that has nothing to do. While I was there, I decided to take a couple of pot shots at the moons. It didn't make me feel any better. I then wandered off some more and found a space station built around an asteroid, but just like everything else in the game, there's nothing to do with it. You can't dock on it, you can't sell anything, you can't talk to anyone who may be on it. You just kinda look at it. Looks nice though. I got bored, again, so I flew off to another distant planet, again, and there was nothing to do. Again, I was desperate for any sort of content in this game, just literally anything to do. So I sat there and I looked around for something that I hadn't seen yet, and in the distance I saw a cluster of something. Apparently my laundry is done. Interesting commentary. Flying towards this mystical object in the distance, the cluster of something, not my laundry. It turned out to just be a graphical glitch, and it was literally just the sun, but from a distance it looked like a bunch of dots. Disappointment. Apparently I was so disappointed that at this point I literally just quit the game and completely uninstalled it. Now, I didn't feel that it would be fair to the developers for me to have played the game for like 40 something minutes this one time and then release a video on it. So a few weeks later, today, after having played it the first time and uninstalled it, I re-downloaded it and I decided to give it another go because I really wanted to give it a fair shake and just make sure that I'm seeing what all there is to see and that I wasn't just in a weird mood or something. So I reinstalled it, and playing it again, I decided to go for some kills, since apparently that seems to be what the game is based around. The very first person that I killed was apparently a named NPC called Commander Cake, and I got an achievement for it. I then promptly died afterwards. I restarted, again. This time I flew off to another area and killed a Fringe Commander. No achievement for that one. I then flew to another area and killed another Fringe Commander. Then I died. One thing that's really bugging me in this game is that when you're getting shot at, there is literally no helpful feedback whatsoever. Like, there's no sounds to let you know you're being hit. There's just nothing. You just kind of get bounced around by the collision of the projectiles, I'm assuming is what it is. You just get bounced around by that, and then you die. Like, that, where's the, I don't have words. There's literally no words. That's not fun. There's nothing helping the player in that situation. Now, I could go a lot more in depth with my playthrough of this. I could spend way more time in the game. I don't want to waste my time like that, and I don't want to waste your time with a long, bloated video of a game that just doesn't have anything to offer. I'm not trying to be harsh on the developers, but come on. Like, this is not a full release $10 game. This is a early access, free for now until we finish everything, and then we'll charge $5 for it down the road kind of game. This is not something that is worth that kind of money because there's just nothing in it. Like, I know that I could go around and kill all the NPCs, which is apparently what they're wanting me to do, but that's just boring. Like, the combat doesn't feel good. There's no feedback to it. It's just dull. Not to mention, it feels like false advertising because they're telling me on the store page that I can fly freely between space systems. Where are the other space systems? There's no jump gates that I can find. I don't have any sort of jump drive that I can find. If I'm missing that, then maybe there's a whole nother level of depth to this game that I'm not finding. But I literally cannot figure out a way to do that, and I'm not seeing anything in this one solar system that would be like a jump gate or jump node or something that would take me somewhere else. So I'm really bothered by that because that was the main thing that sold me on wanting the game. Like, I knew from what I was looking at, the videos, you know, the GIFs and stuff on the page, I knew that it didn't look like the most super polished game in the world. I didn't go into this expecting something amazing, but I expected to get what it was that I was reading about, and I feel like I just didn't get that. Honestly, I would not waste your time with this. I would not waste your money, more so. It's just not worth it. But yeah, that's my 2 cents, my very basic review and critiques. So that's all I've got. Bye.